folks, it's Kimberly Crow, and we are back with another episode of Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, this time with a good friend of mine, Renée Remy. Renée is a resilience expert. She is absolutely fantastic. You're going to love her to bits. Welcome to the program, Renée.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Kimberly, because I know that you are simply amazing at what you do. So I am grateful to be in your presence.
Oh my gosh. Well, super glad that you were able to carve time out of your busy day to be here with us. We're going to get right to it. How did you become a resilience specialist?
Well, the simple answer to that is having to go through a whole lot of crap and get over it quick. Not only that, I work with a lot of people that are going through all sorts of difficulties, and they come to me and they say, now what do I do? Or they just come to me and they pour out. And the challenge is they don't want to just stay in that state. They want to move past it. And to move past it, you got to take action.
All right, fair enough. So when people get stuck, where are they when they find you? Are they grieving? Are they frustrated? Have they just been fired? What's happening in their life?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. And you know what? They can be in a lot of different spaces and places. It really kind of depends on where they're coming from. So I work with a lot of people that have had issues happening in their personal life. And that can be around having lost someone that recently passed, that they weren't expecting to pass, having become a caregiver and not wanting to be a caregiver. And I also work with people who are just having crazy bad time on the job. And they're just like, oh my goodness, my job sucks so much. How do I move from there? And I usually get these referrals from friends, from family, and from the clients that I work with also bring me the same problems.
All right. So people that know how awesome you are refer you business. Do people find you sort of on the web as well? Or are you referred business by any particular organizations?
So you could certainly find me on the web. You can find me on LinkedIn and learn a whole lot about my background there. I have a website, reneeremy.com. I'm easy to find there. And I also work as a chaplain. And so I get referrals in my work as a chaplain, because as a chaplain, all we deal with is grief and resiliency.
All right. So when you're working with people with grief and dealing with issues, they may be going through a recent death or in the family or something like that, but it may just be they're just stuck. They're just stuck in something that they're super unhappy with. How do you identify these people and get them moving forward toward resiliency?
Okay, thank you for mentioning that, because grief is loss. And loss doesn't have to be just a death. Loss can be a loss of your expectations, a loss of what you believe that you could do. And it could be a loss of a job, a loss of where you live, a loss of house. So the first thing we do is we start by identifying what is it that is the source of the grief, right? And then when you're there, there's a lot of tools that you can go through. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to find out what's going to resonate with you. Once you've identified where the grief is, you're able to talk about that and say, hey, this is what's bothering me. I can think about it intellectually. I can feel it emotionally. You understand it emotionally, right? Well, then we want to go to what's the right tool for you, right? And the right tool for you is going to be based on whether or not you've got an experience with that tool before and whether or not it shifts something in your body. So I'm just going to give you a couple of different tools, some tools that everyone is familiar with. One tool, for example, is gratitude. Lots of people don't realize how much release they can have by simply going through gratitude, right? Another tool that people have a lot of access to and a lot of familiarity with is mindfulness. And people don't realize that mindfulness is not just about sitting for 10, 15 minutes, listening, going, is that food really good, right? That is one way people can do it. But if done right, mindfulness can actually turn things around in as little as 10 seconds. And that's really about truly focusing on one sense. And the easiest sense for people to usually do is their breath. But If you are kinesthetic, you're going to want to do something that's tactile. If you're auditory, you're going to listen to sound, right? If you're visual, then you're going to look at something. You're going to spend 10 seconds just focusing in on that one sense. And that 10 seconds starts to shift your mood. It starts to shift how you feel. And in those few moments, you can start to choose how you want to think and what you want to do next.
Wow.
And then finally, we're reframing. And the reframing changes everything.
Well, I love this. You've given us some really good, valid tools that we can use because everybody goes through grief, even in small doses, a little bit at a time. Even it can be overwhelming. And all these strategies can work wherever you are to shift you a little bit further toward resiliency. I like this a lot, Renee. Fantastic advice. So again, if people want to work with you, they can go to reneeremy.com. Will you spell that out for us?
RENEE, REM as in Mary, Y.com.
All right, awesome. I really, again, appreciate you spending the time with us today to play a little bit with us and share these really valuable tools and tips. Before we let you go, any final words for our crew?
Absolutely. When you choose your thoughts, you can choose your emotions. When you choose your thoughts and your emotions, you can change your future.
Change your future. I love that. Words to live by. All right, folks, this has been another episode of Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. I'm Kimberly Crow. We'll see you next time. Cheers.